Silver and Blood video, guys. So we are going to talk a little bit about Lorelei and whether she is worth having or not. Now, I'm going to break this down in a couple different ways. I'm going to go over the kit. We're going to do a little bit of testing for you guys, show you guys kind of how she works and everything about her. Plus, we're going to talk about whether she is a must-have. Now, that's the key word here, right? These limited units, because they are limited, will not be coming back until their rerun banner. So we have to talk about the must-have versus the want. Very big distinctions between the two of them, and I think it's important to note that different players are going to want to do different things with this character. So first off, let's talk a little about her and the character that she is and what she brings to the table as a unit. All right, so first off, Lorelei, where is she? There she is. She is right there. You guys can see she is a kingdom unit. She is going to be a light equipment. She is an assassin, right? And this is unique because she's an assassin who does range and close combat depending on her form. She is a crescent moon character and she does magic damage. All right, now a couple things about her that's unique. Number one, as I mentioned, the double form. She has a siren form and she has a regular form. The regular form is a ranged unit who uses a staff. The siren form becomes a completely different unit altogether. Now, the ultimate, and she really relies on sleep a lot. So if I've mentioned this in the past, if there's a boss or an elite enemy who is immune to sleep, she loses quite a bit of damage, but she still hits like a damn truck. But a lot of her uniqueness is revolved around the sleep pattern, right? So you can see her ultimate, Shadow's Descent. Lorelei transforms into her siren form, releasing mist for 11 seconds, and sleeping enemies won't wake up during this time. When she teleports behind the selected target, inflicting sleep for 2 seconds and dealing 770% at level 3 magic damage, each enemy eliminated increases the duration of siren form by 5 seconds. When the duration ends, she returns back to her base form and teleports back to her original position. So when she's in her siren form, guys, she's an absolute beast, and I'm going to show you guys that really quickly. All right, now here we go in the sweetest slumber special. In base form, triggers when she applies sleep to an enemy, deals 345% attack to a random awake enemy, applying 1 stack of Siren Song. In Siren form, she triggers when she switches her target, except when using ultimate. She teleports behind a random sleeping enemy and deals more damage. If no enemies are asleep, she targets the enemy with the lowest HP instead. Now you guys can see here Siren Songs needs 4 stacks, and then after that happens, the enemy is inflicted with sleep for 5 seconds, okay? And you guys can see sleep does the following. It's a control. It's a strong control. The carrier is unable to cast ultimates, special, basic attacks, or moves during the effect. Effect is removed after carrier takes damage equal to 25% of their max HP. So there is a way to awaken a character, but it does take quite a bit of damage to do so. All right, you guys can see Dark Melody here. This is just a basic attack. Whenever she hits, she does a rectangular attack and applies 1 stack of Siren Song. In Siren form, swings her scythe, dealing 4 and 2% damage to the target. Again, you already know what these do. And then lastly, Soul Devourer. In Siren form, Lorelei deals 50% increased damage to sleeping enemies, ignoring 30% of their magic defense, and immune to sleep. Damage dealt during this time won't wake sleeping units. Now, this is where she becomes super strong. This effect, this passive talent, is massive for her. Now, limitations, bonuses. PvP, she's a monster because she can sleep enemies. She can eliminate enemies quickly, and she can do a ton of damage at a fast pace. Okay, so that's one thing. In story mode, when she's fighting elites, when she's fighting regular mobs, she's an absolute monster. She does a massive amounts of damage to enemies. So let me see if I can jump in here real quick and show you guys some of that combat I'm referring to. So let's just say we use this team. She's right there, right? I don't know what I have equipped on her, though. I might not have the best gear equipped at the moment. I think, let me just exit for 2 seconds. Let me just quit for 2 seconds here. Let me go see her gear. Now, you want to ideally give her the best DPS gear you have. She's not going to compare to like Van Helsing, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of better units out there. But at the same time, she is still a powerhouse of a unit. So let me just quickly go in, give her some of the better equipment that I was planning to give her. Let's just replace and give her some of Lamia's equipment here. And we'll replace this one. Put Lamia's there. If you had a Kingdom one, it'd be better to put that on her, but we don't have a Kingdom one on, so we're just going to give her this level 5 one. That's fine, and this is fine as well, too. You can probably enhance this a little bit just to get it to 2. Heck, we can even get it to 3. There we go. Give her some more power, right? So there you guys go. A little bit more strength this time around. This will push her stats up a little bit, and that pushes her right to the, there we go, 6th slot on the DPS or the total power grid. Let's go back to story mode. And just kind of show you guys a little bit of how she works and how she functions. Okay, we're going to put it to ×1. And we're going to go ahead and put my ultimates in. All right, we already got them in there. Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Now, you guys can see, as mentioned, she is ranged when she is going to attack with Siren Songs. There it is right there. Look, was 1 stack, right? You want 4 stacks. I'm going to go ahead and put this. When she does 4 stacks, she's going to put these enemies to sleep. You want her to be able to do her ultimate by then. You can see right there, right? And then there's the sleeping enemies. Boom. Transform. Now, when they're asleep, she's just going to do a crap load more damage now, right? So you guys can see she goes to the target in the back there, casting her moves. Right, we'll see how much damage she does overall when this is all done. Okay, we'll put a Van Helsing against her, and we'll see who does more damage overall. All right, let's go ahead and cast this again. And again, Siren Song is going to continue to be cast, and you can see here it does hit in a rectangular shape, so it does hit multiple enemies at once, which is kind of nice. Let's put everybody together here, give them a shield. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and cast hers again. Let's kill the elite. See how she does against this elite. Let's see if this elite goes to sleep. All right, you guys can see right there. There's this. Look how much damage that did. That was crazy amounts of damage. That elite lost probably about 60% of their health in that one shot. That's a big amount of health, guys. And look, she's just going in, right? Going in right there with those basic attacks. And look, she continues going here. So you guys can see she will bring a lot of power to your team. And she's only, what, A2 for me, right? So if you can look at the total damage here, right now, granted, I didn't activate Van Helsing's ultimate enough. If I did do both, Van Helsing would trump her. But now you have to remember, though, my Van Helsing is also, I think, advancement 5 or 6. She's only advancement 2. All right, so right there you can see from a story mode perspective, she's going to be a monster to deal with. Okay, so that's going to be a big one for her. Now, PvP is another story. She is also a very, very good PvP unit, and that's something you definitely want to consider if you're going to be a PvP player, right? So if I go into here, for example, let's just say I wanted to fight, I don't know, let's just pick somebody here, this guy, Korax guy. Let's say I wanted to fight these guys. Let's just see how she does in this fight here, okay? So we're going to put all of her skills in place. There she is right there. We're going to hopefully focus on Van Helsing here and kill him off. That's the goal. We'll see if that actually happens. All right, so let's go ahead and put in. Yeah, you know what? This is fine. Let's just see what happens. Let's want to see damage wise what she does. All right, let's hope the NPC actually does this correctly. All right, well, look, Siren Song is working. You can obviously see it's being affecting everybody. Here we go. She's gonna do her ult. Let's see who she targets. Look, she's already put somebody to sleep, and she's targeting the dummies, unfortunately. And that's kind of the problem with PvP when you're fighting things like Bella, like units like Bella. She will target the wrong units once in a while. But look at this. Look how much damage she's doing over here to Lamia now. She put her to sleep too, right? So that's a big deal. That's a huge deal as well. Keep that in mind. All right, so you can see in PvP she's a really good disruptor and a good DPS at the same time. So she's going to cause a lot of damage to a lot of opponents in a very, very fast period of time, causing a lot of disruptions on people's ultimates, casting their skills, etc. Right? Giving Van Helsing, people, and everybody else here a chance to kind of recover and do their thing, and hopefully, you know, take out opponents quicker. Here we go again. Watch. Let's see where she goes with this. Look at that. Just taking everybody out. Taking everybody out. Now, if you look at the total DPS chart, let's see, can we see a total DPS chart on this one? I don't think it shows you, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't on PvP, which is kind of strange. But you can see on PvP, she's a disruptor, and she's great for that. Where she kind of lacks, and this is my biggest issue, is Tomb of the Fallen, right? This is where she's kind of a little bit of a lackluster unit, because she does hit really hard. Even though she does hit hard, she isn't putting any of these like units to sleep, or these bosses to sleep. So let me show you a trial here. All right, we're going to jump in, and I'll show you guys a quick trial. So here, I'm going to take Lamia out. We'll put Van Helsing back in. We'll take away Starry-Eyed, and we'll put in... Where is she? Oh, she's already here. Perfect. Actually, you know what? What I'll do is I'll throw in Seth in here instead. So let's put Seth in here. And watch this now, okay? So we'll do this. And you're going to see shortly that she doesn't put bosses to sleep, right? Which I think we're all aware of. I think everyone understands this concept, right? But she does do a lot of damage still. Look at this. Look at that damage. One hit and she just goes in with her basic attacks, right? She just keeps pummeling away. So even though she doesn't really do much in terms of sleeping here, like the boss is immune to sleep, her damage output is still really, really strong. So you're going to see a lot of people using her for bosses just for that alone. Like that is worthwhile having. in order to just do as much damage as you possibly can on a boss. Now, is she going to out DPS Van Helsing? No. Is she going to out DPS Lamia? Probably not, to be honest. So you're going to have to really decide on what you want to go for and who you want to go for. She is probably better than most in PvP. But again, when it comes down to PvE content outside of story mode, she is lacking a little bit. So all in all, guys, just so you guys are aware, in terms of my opinions on her, is she really, really good? Absolutely. She's a beast of a monster. Is she a must-have unit? I don't think she's a must-have. That's pushing it a little bit. I think she's definitely good to have. She's probably even great to have, but she's not going to really out DPS Van Helsing or Lamia or any of the current units you probably have been working on. So in my opinion, because she is limited, it's your choice on what you want to do, but I think skipping is definitely a good option here for a lot of you. And if you plan to skip, I think you're probably going to do yourself a favor in the future by getting yourself better units overall as the game progresses. All right, guys, there's my take. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.